Today, I'm going to be talking about how to keep motivated to animate. It's something that I certainly have struggled throughout the years, and I found ways around it in order to keep me motivated, to keep me boosted, to keep me going. So, I'm going to share those tips with you guys today, and hopefully it'll help some of you out there. Welcome to episode 35. Let's get into it. So, before we get started, this past Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I did a Black Friday special discount on my animation workshop, and I would like to thank all of the new students that decided to join me. So thank you very much, guys, for joining me, and I'm very much looking forward to working with you guys. For the people that perhaps might be interested in the animation workshop, I am adding a couple more workshops to the existing one, and what I'm adding is basically a monthly workshop that you can take at any point, so 4 weeks, and then I'm also adding a weekly one. So for 1 week, if you want me to review your show reel or review a shot, or if you want feedback in any kind, maybe you can join in for a week, see how it works, see if you're satisfied, and then maybe you can go for the monthly or the 3 months workshop that I already have set up previously. So for all the details, make sure to go to my website, harveynewman.com. So far, I've been having a blast working with the students, and I'm looking forward to working with more of you out there soon. Let's move on and talk about motivation. I actually spent a big stint of time without being able to find a job. So I finished my university degree in animation. I kind of felt like I couldn't really animate. Thankfully, I had a mentor that was incredibly talented and gifted, and he helped me out for about 1.5 years to 2. And that's when I really learned how to animate. And I felt very much the longer that I took to get a job, the more I felt like I was not good enough to keep going. And also life, you have to pay bills, you have to take care of your family, and all of those things take a toll on your dream. And that dream that is actually so clear when you first start, I'm going to be an animator, starts to fade away the longer you take to get to your dream. Now, the good thing about waiting so long is that if you do manage to make it through the thick and thin of waiting and just applying and getting refusals and etc., that grind, that wait that you had to actually endure throughout the time that you had to do it, that stuff is going to power the animator within you. So how much do you really want to get into animation? Now, this is the first question that you should ask yourself. You need to actually make sure that that is your main priority right now, and there's nothing else that matters most. If you actually make it as in, it would be nice to have, but let's see what happens, then all of a sudden you're taking it down a notch. You should be really aiming for the stars and then hoping to get to a cloud. If you don't aim for that little huge achievement, you're never going to stand out from the rest, which will mean that you'll never get your first job. So that's basically what I mean by making sure that animation is your priority and making sure that you want it more than anything else that you've wanted so far. Also, make sure that you are in it for the long run. If you keep your mindset that this is going to take a lot of hard work, but it's going to take also a lot of time for you to get into the industry, then you set yourself to win, because you're not waiting for a quick win from animation. You're just kind of on standby, and if it doesn't work out, you continue working because you know it's going to take a while. And that way is the best way for you not to disappoint yourself as you pursue your dream little by little. So you're pursuing your dream, and you know it's gonna take a while, and you're gonna work super hard to make it. Now, when you do this, make sure that you go fast by going slow. And by that, I mean that don't rush the wanting to be an animator and just go in doing anything at all. If a studio asks for a rigger, but you really want to be an animator, focus on your skills as an animator and let that opportunity pass if that's what you really want. Because what happens to a lot of people is that you normally will end up getting stuck in that position. Keep in mind that you need to take your time to learn animation to the best capabilities as possible. There's a lot of people in the industry that have a lot of talent. So the same people, they will be looking at your work and they will be looking at how good is this guy really and where can we put him. When you spend your time studying, when you spend your time really learning the craft of animation, is that when you get to a job, you're going to have a strong foundation, and that's going to show to everyone that has a lot of experience, and they're going to look at your work and they're going to think this guy has a really strong foundation, has genuinely talent, and we can work with it and mold it into something greater. You want to be in a position that you want to bring your ideas to the table, you want to speak out, you know you have confidence in your skills, and you know you're there to deliver. And if there's something you don't know, then you'll ask and you'll learn from others and you'll become better every day, instead of having a fragile base that then you can build on top that can be crushed very easily by someone that knows much, much more than you. Go fast by going slow is my second tip. Let's get into the third one. So you know that you want to be an animator a lot. You know that you have to go fast by going slow, by learning the basics, learning the details, and taking your time learning animation. So now let's talk about the things surrounding animation. At some point in those 3 years that I was talking about, I was so obsessed with animation that I was doing nothing else but work, because I had to pay the bills. And then in the evenings, I was just animating. And then I would just like animate until 3 to 5 o'clock in the morning, sleep a couple of hours, go back to work 8 hours, come back home, rinse and repeat, and continue to do this all the time. What happened was that my love for animation, my passion, and my goals, they became foggy and distorted. And at some point, I kind of felt like, why am I doing this? And should I really be doing something else? Because I don't think I like this anymore. This is too much work. And am I really going to get anywhere with this? So my third tip is actually to go out, enjoy life, see things, be inspired, because that is going to be the fuel that we're going to use to then animate later on. Getting inspiration sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes from other sources that are not animation helps you to keep you fueled, because perhaps you can see something that someone else hasn't seen. My time right now is spent with my family, and to me that is incredibly inspiring, is incredibly refreshing. So that's my source of inspiration right now. So make sure you do that. Enjoy your time with your family, with your friends, get inspiration, get out there and use that fuel and put it all into your animations. Animation is a profession that takes a lifetime to master, and because it takes a lifetime to master, you need to actually have here your noodle working 100% for as long as you can. And I feel like you can only do that by living a good life, eating well, sleeping well, making sure that you meditate, that perhaps you do a little bit of exercise here and there, making sure that you take care of yourself. Because by taking care of yourself, it means that you're going to be glued in and connected 100% of the time. So when you read a book about animation, or when you see a tutorial by an animator and you're learning new things, that means that it's getting in and it's sticking in instead of you having to relearn it. I think meditation, it's amazing for your mind. Animation is definitely one profession that basically locks you into your mind, because you have to make a character look and act as if it was naturally acting like an actor does, but by thinking and overthinking every single controller and every single part of the body. And there is a lot of overthinking when you have to work in one piece. And a lot of times before I started meditating, you go home and you still take a lot of that work with you in your mind, because you kind of think, oh, I forgot to animate the nose controller or the nostrils. The more times you go through the motions of getting stressed, of overthinking things, the more you become stuck onto that way of thinking. So meditation is an amazing way for you to snap out of that way of thinking. And when you come home, you don't bring your work with you, you're not thinking about it. And also it helps you to see things a little clearer. So you don't really pigeonhole yourself and just focus on one thing in animation, and then that's the only thing you can do. You start seeing the broader picture. Make sure you eat well, you sleep well, you take care of yourself, so you have the longevity that will allow you to get to that old age that the 9 old men got and be happy with yourself, with your family, with your friends, and also perform at the highest level like Milt Kahl was doing right at the end of his career. And that way you have the longevity needed to become an epic animator. So yeah, it's difficult to speak about some of these issues that are very personal to me, because those 3 years that I spent without being a professional animator, fully thinking when I finish university I'm going to get a job straight away, I kind of struggled quite a bit, I have to be honest. I genuinely didn't believe in myself very much. I was very depressed at that point in time. I also thought that I was late in terms of age at that point. I felt like everyone was younger than me as well. So there was a lot of negativity in my mind, a lot of thoughts that shouldn't be there, and self-doubt. And I hope this video helps some of you out there to not go through the same. Because looking back right now, I feel like some of that stuff I could let go of. I could have enjoyed life a little bit better. I felt like I spent 3 years just so focused on animation that I didn't do anything else, and that was a big mistake. You can't get paralyzed and stuck in this field. No one can create under pressure at all times. It's pretty much impossible. So the creativity, the true creativity, flourishes when there's no pressure and there's time for you to create. So hopefully you guys can find a place like this so you can be positive, can be motivated, and I hope this has helped some of you out there. So that's all I had for you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and as always, stay well, stay safe. Peace. You still around? Great. In that case, click here to watch more episodes, or click here in order to subscribe to my channel. I thank you deeply. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you next week when I drop more videos here in this channel. See you then.